Do you find yourself saying, this has been one great life? I've had a chance to invest myself in all these characters. I mean,
it's a great life.
Mr. Hackman counts himself among the lucky, does he?
Absolutely. I think that I've been really privileged to have been given the opportunity to do some of the things that I've done.
This week, our community lost a giant, and I lost a dear friend.
Gene was the best actor that I'd ever worked with.
I think I told him every morning he was my favorite actor. He could do comedy or drama.
He's the kind of guy that loves to be left alone.
Yeah, he loves to be left alone, and he is the kind of guy where you take one. Wow.
Yeah.
That was great.
Take one.
Yeah.
Extremely professional. You get to the set, he'd already been there an hour. Nobody was there yet. No lighting, no anything. He would just walk around, talk about professional. Blocking, thinking what he was going to do. Just watching an actor like that work, you're just inspired to go, okay, that's a pro.
He was really good. Guy was really, really good. His timing, his patterns, his rhythms were really, really advanced. So, goodbye, Gene. I hope you're well, wherever you are.
Gene Hackman is and will forever be a true legend of cinema. With so many epic performances, amazing talent, it's so sad. Our hearts and prayers go out to the Hackman family, friends, fans. I've been rewatching a lot of his movies this week, and I mean, he's such an incredible guy. I mean, just incredible talent. He's Lex Luthor, you know, and it's definitely heartbreaking. With us today is Hollywood hairstylist Emanuel Miller to share his thoughts and experience working with Gene on the set of Class Action. Mr. Emanuel, welcome back, sir. I really appreciate it. Definitely some sad times, sir. When you saw the headlines, what came to mind? How did you feel?
It was sad. He was a brilliant actor. I was doing a movie called Class Action, and Gene arrived, and I was very excited to meet Gene Hackman. I'd admired his work for so many years. That was my first union movie. I had just gotten in the union. I had just finished the movie The Abyss. And so the producer, Robert Court, came in and said to the makeup man, Steve Abrams, and myself, guys, I want to introduce you to Gene. He's upstairs. And so we went upstairs. Gene turned, and without even looking, I don't think he looked at me. He just kind of did a quick glance. He said, I won't be needing you guys. And that's kind of all I needed to hear. I didn't know why he would have such an aversion or the type of actor he was, but I said, okay, that's fine. And I went back downstairs. I think what was most telltaling was one day we were shooting on the streets of San Francisco, and Gene said to the costumer, Rita Ryak, who is a renowned costumer, he said, stop buying me new clothes. He said, I wouldn't dress like this. I'm a prosecuting attorney. I work for the city. And Gene ran across the street and ran into a thrift store and came out maybe half an hour later in a pair of corduroy pants and a jacket and a shirt, and he bought his own clothes. And I think that's when I pieced together, oh, you're really...
He was all about the role.
He was into the role, and he was playing a guy that he thought, that he wouldn't need hair and makeup. He didn't want to look pretty for the camera or look like he was made up. And which is very also telltale, because Gene would watch me on set for about the first 2 weeks. He'd see that I would go to and touch up the other actors and probably watching the way that I worked. But he had a dinner with Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio and a few of the other cast members, and apparently they were raving about how I cut hair and my work. And so Gene, even though I was on set with him for hours, I went back to the hair and makeup trailer, and a little while later, my hair assistant came in and said, Gene asked me for a haircut. And I said, well, then cut it. She said, no, I think he wants you to cut it. And I said, he didn't ask me. I was on set all morning with him. He asked you. So a little while later, Gene came into the trailer, and he stopped at the empty chair next to mine. And he looked at me and he said, you're going to let her cut my hair? And I said, you didn't ask me. You asked her. And I think I kind of regret that. He really just wanted a haircut. It wasn't for his character. He just needed a haircut. And I think that his possibly stubborn way of saying, I won't need you guys, well, I already said I'm not going to need you, but questioning, are you going to let her do this? I guess my ego got involved and said, I too have standards and you didn't ask me. I was on set with you all morning and you didn't ask me. So I guess we had a bit of a standoff, but that also, Gene, if you're listening, that also taught me to hold my own. It didn't matter if it was Gene Hackman or Johnny Depp or whomever I worked with. Just thank you, Gene, for that. You taught me to hold my own. He did such a brilliant job. There was one day when I went to dailies, and it was a scene between him and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. They were playing father and daughter, and they had an argument, and it was so real watching dailies. I was uncomfortable of how they went at each other in the scene and the characters. So right after that, a few minutes later after that, I was walking out of the dailies room, and Gene was walking towards me, and we hadn't really spoken after the haircut incident. But I stopped him as we were about to pass. I said, Gene, I said, I just went to dailies. I said, you really are a brilliant actor. And he looked at me and he said, thank you. And I said, well, I just call it the way I see it. And from that moment on, there was this quiet respect we had. And again, years later, I was shooting a film in Toronto, and I heard that Gene Hackman was shooting a movie about a mile away from us. And I snuck away from our set and to visit his, because I wanted to say hello to Michael Apted, the director who directed Class Action, and he was directing. I heard that Gene was on the set, but the beautiful thing was when I walked on set and I was waiting for Michael to say hello, Gene saw me, got up off his chair, came over and gave me a big hug. Those are the memories that I have of him. So yes, when I heard that he passed, I thought of I won't be needing you guys all the way to a big hug when I saw him in Toronto. And I realize now that I probably owe Gene a huge thank you because of such professionalism. I maybe subconsciously or consciously carried that throughout my career. I'm here to do hair. I'm not here to do drama. I'm not here to party with anybody. I'm not here to become somebody's best friend or bestie or look for my next film. And maybe subconsciously, I saw Gene do that because I had such a respect for him when we finished that film that I think I continue that same way. You hire me to do hair, and that's what I'm there to do. I could be friendly, I could be nice, and Gene was. He was friendly. I never saw him be unfriendly to anybody or go out of his way to be mean. He just was a professional. And wow, now that I think about it, thank you, Gene. Thank you for setting a tone that I maybe didn't realize until actually this moment, that if you're going to be in the film business and get opportunities like that, be professional.
Yes, sir. Amazing. Mr. Emanuel, thank you so much for being here, sir. Again, I really appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for sharing. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, our hearts and prayers go out to the Hackman family, friends, and fans. Thank you for watching. Thank you for believing, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.